Hello, everybody. It is Near Light Shine here, joined by One Kind of Syrup. We are doing a open daily boots race. How are you today, Pine?
Oh, doing all
Syrup.
good. All good there, Nira. No, doing great today. Excited. Open Boots is a nice fun seed, and we have 4 great runners on the restream, so it should be a lot of fun.
Yep. Hey, I have to mute for a minute. I'm sorry. Something. I'll be right back.
No worries. Do your thing, Nira. So we're gonna have 4 runners here on the restream today. Should be a nice fun race. Open Boots, always a little bit quicker. We'll see if those boots lead to anything relevant nice and early on. Also, before we get started, quick shout out to our trackers, Lady Laura, Jinxie Girl, clicking the buttons, making sure that we can get 4 of our runners on today. So shout out to them, and shout out to the rest of the Speed Gaming crew here today for putting this race together. And it looks like we are starting off. $20 in Link's house, and a nice 10-pack in the Sanctuary. Could be nice before heading into Kakariko, having access to those bombs. As we see divergence from a large number of our runners, we see some heading to Uncle, 2 heading straight to Bonk Rocks, and then Rai heading straight to South Shore. Gonna check the dam first. Just $20 in Bonk Rocks, nothing today. And we had a map check there, but I did miss it. Looks like it is regular pendant Eastern Palace, green pendant Desert Palace, and crystal at Tower of Hera. Believe that's a 5/6 crystal as well.
Yeah, I think it was too. Also, it looked like, is that a sword on Lumberjack?
I believe it was. So hopefully that's not our progressively second sword, but you never know. But I don't expect our runners to be grabbing that, as we see a glove at Mushroom Spot from Calvin Screen.
Now, seeing how swords, we need at least 2 swords to beat Ganon, that's not a good thing.
Yeah, never want to see anything important really on the Lumberjack ledge. Rather it be, a big 20 or a pack of arrows, but every once in a while you get those seeds, especially with open boots.
I'd rather if it'd be something important, it'd be like something like the glove or the flippers.
Where you know if you need it or not. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that way you're not calling into question, like, do I need this? Like, the funny thing is, they could literally do AGA 1 after AGA 2.
Yes, technically.
Because if they don't find a sword, if they don't find a second sword, just do AGA 1 after AGA 2.
Yeah, probably one of the more efficient ways to route in AGA 1, being able to mirror directly over and then finish AGA Tower. Hopefully we won't have to see it today, but again, like I said, you never know.
Yep. I imagine if they do AGA 1, they are going to grab that sword.
100%. Just a little boots bunk, and it's theirs. I mean, having that extra sword, I guess it depends on where they're at, but hey, I'm never one to turn down a sword.
Also, it looked like there was nothing except the shield inside of Blind's hut.
Yeah, honestly, dry start. We had a bit of divergence at the beginning, but it looks like everyone's going to be coalescing here in Kakariko. Had a few South Shore starts, an Uncle start, and
there's the bow.
Good find here in the well.
10 arrows, the piece of heart, and 20 rubies. Barely enough for a bottle vendor.
Now, Nero, we do know that the Eastern Palace is a pendant. Are you more or less likely to dip into Eastern Palace when you have that bow early?
Yes.
Even when it's a pendant? Yes, I agree. Good few number of checks in there.
There's 4 in total, 6 in total if you count the
Maps, Compass, and Big Key.
No, if you count at Sarsparella's hut.
Also, 6 total items.
Also, there was half magic on the bottle vendor.
Yeah, none of our runners going to be turning that down. Always nice to have.
Yeah.
As the
No.
money seems to stack up here for Calvin.
Well, definitely one thing for certain for our runners, they are not going to struggle to find the bow today.
No, nice and easy there. Looks like Eastern Palace already being a pendant. We'll see if Pod's one of our other pendants. Only one in the Dark World today.
There's the fire rod. With the right placement of items, the Eastern is completable right now, or like in logic.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, with the advanced logic, being able to use the fire rod in the back there.
Yep.
Yeah, as long as there's a map or compass in the original big key chest, it is fully in logic completable.
Yep. Which, fun fact, the lantern can be on Armos Knights with the fire rod there.
What a funny series of events that would be.
I've seen it.
Just bombs on race game. Nothing too important here, but with the Slim Kakariko, it looks like two of our runners choosing to go right off the bat and do the race game blind.
Yep, it didn't hurt to do that. Not with boots.
Yeah, it costs a little bit of time, but all in all, if there's an item there, it costs way less time.
Yeah, but definitely, I'm curious to see what else we're gonna find in the sea today. That's for sure.
Hammer down there in the dam. Nice early pickup as well. We have gloves and hammer early. Just looking for that moon pearl for Dark World access.
Somebody else had picked up the hammer too, because somebody did do South Shore. I think it was Rai that did. I know of a worse item that could have been on Lumberjack, though.
What's that?
The bow.
Yeah, bow on Lumberjack is always one of those stressful moments, you know, especially with the progressive bows. Is it the first? Is it the second? You're just constantly in the back of your mind as you're searching dungeons.
Especially if Eastern and Pod are both crystals. And there's bombos inside of Mini Moldorm.
Your first medallion pickup with 2 pendants in the light world. More likely than not, we will need some number of these medallions. One of Turtle Rock or Misery Mire is guaranteed to be a crystal, so we'll need at least one.
Unless somehow we have 4 pendant dungeons.
That's a different kind of randomizer, I'm pretty sure, Nira.
Yeah, it's called Mira's Nightmare.
Now, from Ice Rod Cave here, Nira, are you usually a fan to go straight into the fake flipper with that water walk?
Yes.
Yeah, I am as well. I think it's a really fast way to get a large number of checks out of the way.
That was also Kana Bryan in the Ice Rod Cave.
It definitely opens up a few more locations and a few nice strategies on certain bosses or enemies in certain rooms. Can always be a little useful, even if Spike Cave isn't hard required. Which, with a Moon Pearl, Spike Cave would be in logic. They have that hammer and the Cane of Burna.
Yeah. Sadly, we still don't have that Moon Pearl.
No, it is elusive, hiding on us somewhere.
There's the book.
And $20. All right, early book. It is boots locked.
Desert's completable now.
Desert is completable. I wonder where those flippers are to put that book in logic for us. Honestly, classic. I guess we're gonna see it here on a couple of our runner screens. See if the fish has the flippers today.
And Zora has Piece of Heart.
Just a piece of heart. It is a scam today.
At least if you're gonna charge. Oh no! At least you're gonna charge 500 rubies. Give us a full heart container.
Fair enough. Calvin with the unfortunate bonk there in Zora's domain. Good to be missing out on that. Luckily, we know just a piece of heart. Nothing important they're going to be missing, but definitely going to be nagging in Calvin's mind about what that item will, or was, sorry, on King Zora.
Yep. Looked like 3 bombs, a single ruby, and 20 rubies in Sarsparella's hut.
Yeah, pretty open still so far. Again, still just looking for that moon pearl. It'll be interesting to see where it ends up. Just a single arrow there with Uncle, and not much in the back of Escape either.
Yeah. Ugh. It looks like we're gonna get a look at the Zelda cell though. On
Yeah.
Aku's side.
Yeah, Aku doing the front of Escape here. We'll have to see where that leads. Looks like Calvin's going to be following as well, while Ducky heads directly into Eastern Palace.
Yeah, Zizzy, that you can do it with Water Walk. And there's the Moon Pearl.
There it is. First check in Eastern Palace. In Pendant Eastern Palace. And Ducky's going to continue.
I don't really blame them.
Yeah, get a few more checks here out of the way. Like we were saying, it is a fully completable dungeon. Hopefully, we get all the items we need before having to head all the way and fight Armos Knights in the back. But we'll see what Ducky decides to do here.
Yeah. But with that book, like we said before, Desert is completable. It's not in logic, but...
But logic schmogic, you'll find those flippers at some point and we'll be good to go here in Desert Palace, so... Can hurt.
Another shield. And so the small key is in its French vanilla location in Desert.
Yeah. And now looks like we're going to go west. We'll see. I don't believe Rai checked what was on the torch. But again, Pendant Eastern Palace here. We'll see how much of this they decide to clear. It is a green pendant, which means going to the back does yield an extra item for us if they ever want to.
In Zelda's cell.
Wow, that's going to be most likely required here, unless any of our runners know how to Moldorm bounce.
Yeah. Also, the big key was in its vanilla location in Desert.
Actual vanilla, yes. We had a French vanilla small key and a real vanilla big key.
So
the compass still on the torch?
It means the armor that land mole holds the second item. Ducky going into the Dark World though first because they got the Moon Pearl.
Yeah, without that hook shot so far, we'll see how long they orphan going away from Zelda's cell there.
I missed what was the other crystal, but Swamp is the third pendant.
Palm Palace being the third pendant, so we'll see when we get those flippers. Will be hard required for Ice Palace, however.
Misery Mire was the other one. That was the mirror and hype cave. And the
and
flute.
A flute.
And 20 rubies, 5 rubies, and 20 rubies.
How would you rate that hype cave there, Nira?
5.5 out of 10.
5.5, I think that's reasonable. We got mirror and flute. Also nice, Ducky here being in the Dark World can just mirror, go up, activate that flute instead of having to waste an additional save and quit. And yeah, now we see if we have to fight Aga for that second sword, which we still have not found a sword on any of our runner screens here.
Nope. Are we doing swordless today?
It might be inadvertently swordless open boots.
Yeah. 20 rubies. And like grabbing some hearts, that doesn't hurt.
And looks like Aku's going to be doing Dark Old Man here. Not too bad of a dark room once you get used to it. Without a sword, just have to make sure you don't... You know when you screen transition with the old man from the left to the right cave room.
Yep. And Rai getting the one cycle. And there's the Cane of Samaria. That is like... Desert has an item we needed.
on Land Molus as well, all the way in the back. Most runners are going to do the front first before heading to the back, especially with Pendant Desert Palace. But good thing Rai went all the way. That King of Samaria is hard required here, with Misery Mire and Turtle Rock being required dungeons. Also just extremely useful. Things like Diver down in Swamp Palace if they have to dip it, and Icebreaker in Ice Palace.
Yep. And we do know they do have to do Ice Palace, so I did not see what that was in Agina's cave. Oh, it was a bottle. Blue bottle at that.
And then we saw Ether in the bottom of Paradox Cave, with a boomerang currently in the top. 2 chests left. And just some money and some bombs on top of that boomerang. But picking up Ether may be a required medallion for our Misery Mire or Turtle Rock.
Yep.
So always nice to have.
We're going to go do Hera while we're up here.
Also, yeah, makes sense. Fully clearable dungeon, crystal dungeon, and one of our 5/6.
And floating out. Oh, that's the magic tower.
We have a lot of fun items and fun locations today, Nira. We have powder on the ledge. We have a sword on Lumberjack. Always seeing those items. At least that one's a little bit quicker to pick up than the Lumberjack chest, but never something you really want to see.
And that was a heart container by the looks of it on the Ether tablet. I did not see what that was on Spectacle.
I believe it was just a heart piece, yeah.
Yeah, I've got both this and the Twitch ups, or so.
Beautiful. Love to have it.
Ooh, Aku doesn't have the mirror, so he can't do quick warps.
Yeah, currently missing that mirror that was in Hype Cave. Hopefully they... actually, still missing the Moon Pearl that is in Eastern Palace on Rai and Aku's side. Aku choosing to go to the mountain out of Logic first. Going to be setting up a spin speed here. Very nice aeropod.
Oh, what? Oh, green pendant was turned in. What was in it?
I did miss that, unfortunately.
Probably a piece of harder rubies. Yeah, 50 rubies.
Thank 50 you, 50 rupees. Thank you, Jinxie Girl. One of our trackers keeping us... Wow. First sword in the big... Was it in the big chest?
Yep. So the second item is either going to be in the basement or a troll dorm.
Yeah, we did already find that key, so missing one of the map or the compass. Hopefully it's here on Mole Dorm and we don't have to go do coffee break chest, but...
Oh, yeah, hopefully it's the compass.
And Aku here having the hammer, nice and easy Mole Dorm, while Rai picks up that Moon Pearl in Eastern Palace.
Yep. And on Troll Dorm, we have... Oh, no, there's an item in the basement.
There is. So I wonder if Aku has been pretty thorough so far. We'll see if they go continue the basement. I mean, while you're here, I'm a big fan of just continuing to the basement, but
yeah, the thing
definitely a check that takes a while.
If this seed has taught us anything, the pendant dungeons have progression.
Yes, having that King of Samaria on Landmo, and we should just listen to the seed a little more. I think you're right. Right, well, full heart in Skullwoods, and Ducky gonna head out.
And there's this mirror. Oh, it was 9 digs on the dig game. Oof.
Have you ever missed the dig game, Nira, where you just don't get all the digs in? You bonk a little bit too many times?
Yes.
Yeah, I had that happen in a run I was doing last night as a race, and there is nothing worse than having to do dig game twice for 5 rupees.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, and you can't leave it behind. You do the digs and the game ends, and you're like, all right, time to go back in.
And they're... Oh, no.
This is This is an interesting seed.
This is turning into an oops all dungeons seed.
It really is. In the basement of Tower of Hera, we have the Titan's Mitts for Akru. When they grab that Moon Pearl, they'll have full Dark World access. Any of those portals, the fast portal in Kakriko Village.
You know
Yeah, super convenient.
The crazy thing, Aku's almost in go mode.
That's actually very true. With that knowing where the Cane of Samaria, where the mirror and where the flute are, it's Flipper and Ice Rod, plus the lamp for good measure, but
and the sword.
And the sword. But we know where that sword is even as well. One of them hanging out on Lumberjack Ledge, so we're getting a lot of information real quick.
There's probably the other two swords are probably on left side swamp in both chests.
Yeah, if this seed wants to continue to be as mean as it's been, that's what it would do to us. Both on left side would be interesting. It looks like just bombs there in King's Tube as well.
Yeah.
Rai rescues the old man.
Oh, this has been a fun seed already. We haven't done much.
Yeah, only 20 minutes in here, but it feels like we have access to so much. We have a full clearable Skull Woods. I'm trying to think what dungeons we have full clearable. Thieves Town, logically Ice Palace. We have both Bombos and Ice Rod. Not logically missing those flippers for Ice Palace, but I mean, quick fake flipper and we're in.
You know, the funny thing is Ice Rod can be on pedestal.
You're really out here looking out here for chat, who I'm sure always wants a pedestal seed.
Yeah, because literally we only need the Ice Rod for one thing in the entire game.
Try next, yeah. Could also be the fun Quake necessary medallion on pedestal as well. Always a classic.
Oh. So far, Thieves Town having nothing.
No, not too
much.
Having
3 bombs. There's the big key in Thieves Town.
And Calvin with that hammer, gonna continue here. Still no sword, which does make this blind fight a lot tougher. A little bit harder to follow that script when you don't have that sword.
Not true. They got the Cane of Burna.
Ah, yes, the invincibility plus the only needing to hit blind, not needing to necessarily deal a large portion of damage.
Yep, not blind no matter what weapon you use, takes 9 hits.
Yeah, Cane of Burna, especially with that half magic as well, very convenient situation.
Yep. I don't know, I think it's personally faster, but...
I mean, it's definitely faster for me, I will say, because when I go off script, it would have just been faster to use the Cane of Burna.
Yeah, I can't follow the script. I can't figure it out.
I get it about 1 in every 3 tries, but when I get it, you better believe that I think I'm sick. I'm really hyped up about it, you know?
Yep, I still have not seen anything in Thieves Town.
No, nothing in Thieves Town. Doesn't look like much here in Skull Woods either on Aku's side.
We're probably gonna probably get a moth kill though.
Yeah, half magic, hammer, and that fire rod. Be surprised if Aku doesn't go for that. On green mail still though. Gotta be careful. Those beams deal quite a bit of damage, as well as damage from hitting any of those spikes is a full heart every time. So just gotta make sure you're careful in the fight. But with these runners, I'm sure they'll be all right.
Oh no, Right took another fall.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate one as well, dropping through both holes and on their way to pick up their first sword as well. Sword would have made that bomb jump quite a bit easier if it had been on the other side, but unfortunately, this is the way the game laid the items out.
Yeah. So did we only find the one item in Skull Wood so far?
I believe so.
Oh, there's the map.
Oh. Map and second crystal from Aku, having Tower of Hera. And Skullwood's done now. Big Chest of Thieves Town. Not holding much for Calvin, but we'll bring the maiden to the top.
Thank you, Jinxie. Apparently we found bombs and a piece of heart.
Jinxie, making sure that we keep on track here. Thank you very much. Bombs and a piece of heart in Skullwood, so heading to the back. Aku should know there's no
First
items.
sword was in Hera Big Chest.
And you're right, Calvin. Without that sword, going to be using Cane of Burnistrats. Invulnerability definitely help here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. And nice clean fight from Calvin. We get the reward of a crystal and the compass in Thieves Town.
Yep.
So nothing in all of Thieves Town, it seems like. Nothing in Skullwoods either. I guess with being so loaded at things like Hype Cave and early on, already having that bow, mitts, everything like that, kind of makes sense. But always unfortunate when you see no useful items in a dungeon.
Yep, I wonder if Rai is going to go into the basement, though.
For their sake, let's hope so.
Yeah.
Luckily, actually, I'm trying to think what gloves actually orphan here. Orphans, Dark Death Mountain, Misery Mire, Turtle Rock, can full clear Skullwoods, Tower of Hera.
Rai, go back, go back.
Oh, no. Rai leaving those mitts in Tower of Hera basement.
It's not like it's a piece of heart where you can easily abandon it. You need these.
And they're going to head to East Death Mountain. Still not having that hook shot. They went north first after finding that mirror. Hook shot, I believe, in Zelda's cell. So,
yep.
Yeah, a few of our runners with that early Dark World access, going to be skipping out on Zelda's cell for a while. And hook shot, not one you want to skip out on for long. Gives access to quite a bit here on Death Mountain, which makes the routing easier as well. Access to Skullwoods, or Swamp Palace, etc.
Yeah, and Rai, the only one that's done desert, so they've got the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, items really, really spread out in the seed. I feel as though some of these items are going to be not necessarily full last location, but definitely later listed on our runners' minds. I doubt Pendant Desert Palace is their first thought after getting Dark World access.
Yeah, really, that was just a huge gamble that paid off.
So Rai having that Cane of Samaria, but unfortunately missing out on those mitts. We'll see if Calvin does decide to go into the basement after killing Moldorm. Hopefully, again, for their sake, able to head back in.
Maybe they will check the basement. They were just hoping to find something in Paradox.
Yeah, with full access to Spike Cave as well, this might be a route where they decide to go back across, check the basement, and then go into Spike Cave as their final check here on the mountain. But we'll have to see where Rai heads. I don't believe they've done Spiral Cave either, so...
Nope, they haven't.
We will have to see where they tend to go here.
They did grab they did bring the hammer out, so I wonder if that is them. Yep, they're going back.
Right, now let's see if they head into the basement here, or if they head straight to Spike Cave.
Oh, no.
Fortunately, wrong direction for Rai. Going to be heading straight down into Spike Cave. Could be missing out on those gloves for a while. At least the gloves block 3 of our Dark World dungeons and 3 of our required dungeons, so little bit of a safe haven there for Rai. Hopefully they get back up the mountain and to Tower of Hera quick, but yeah, gotta be without those mitts.
And it's just 20 rubies inside the Smite Cave.
Yeah, unfortunately, we know that that item in the basement would have been a lot nicer than those 20 rupees. As looks like Calvin is going to be going back into the basement to pick up their Titan's mitts.
Yep. Oh, my heart breaks for Rai Rai.
Yeah, it can definitely be a reasonable play too, skipping the basement of Tower of Hera when you have the world so open to you. Rai Rai, I believe, not having gone to this western part of the Dark World because they began in the south, so not having those Titans Mist to come up north. But yeah, thinking, I guess, item density makes it look like we should just head to the Dark World in Kakariko, which statistically I can't argue with on Rai Rai's front.
Yep. Calvin's getting his Titan's mitts now.
And we're finally seeing the back of Escape from Ducky's side. We've seen it on all of our other runner sides, just always funny when you see it so late in the seed.
Yeah.
Calvin, seeing the power on the ledge, gonna descend the mountain through Spiral Cave, which in casual boots a lot nicer of a room.
I don't think we've seen Spiral either.
I believe we saw it on Aku's side, but I'm not 100% sure because they went West Dark World first. Sorry, East Dark World first, and then came back. But just a piece of heart.
Yep, nothing of importance.
Mountain being pretty dry, except for those Titan's mitts in the basement of Tower of Hera. Probably the most inconvenient place on the mountain that they could be. As Calvin gonna loop this with those Titan's mitts directly into Dark World's Death Mountain.
We did also have the sword in Hera.
Yes, the sword in Big Chest Tower of Hera. Thank you. And if they find another sword, that first sword is very important.
Yeah.
Means they didn't have to do Aga for their second. Well, Aku here, finishing up the blind fight. That's their third crystal so far. Really just following the rule, you know? Always be clearing crystal dungeons.
Now, my question is, where will he go now? Do you think he will go do Swamp? Or no, there's actually not much he got open to him except Dark World Death Mountain now.
Yeah, Aku as well has not been south of Village of Outcasts all the way to Hype Cave, so assume they're going to go south there and finish that, but good to pick up the mirror at the end, so we'll see if they pick up the Smith along the way for the longer journey. As we saw an attempted hover from Calvin's side. Fell through thinking, well, I'm not going to try that again. I'll just go through the mirror.
Pedestal requires pet is called what did that say? Yeah, that looked like 10 arrows to me. So
yeah,
Pedestal is dead.
Ped is dead, unfortunately. None of our important Ice Rod / Quake items on Ped. So runners won't be completing the Pendant Dungeons for them. However, we do know they do have to complete Pendant Desert Palace for that Cane of Samaria that Rai Rai picked up.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see when any of our runners goes and does desert.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. They have a lot of the world open up to them, and
Bombos is required for TR, so already you do not need one of the already one of the medallion requirements is done.
As we see Calvin picking up a lamp there in Hookshot Cave in the first check.
Yep. There's the cape.
Gives us access to Bumper Ledge. Gives us access to Aga.
Yep. We're also going to go get magic powder now.
Yep, finally able to get magic powder on Calvin's side. We'll see if that leads to anything at Magic Bab, but worst comes to worst, a nice safety to have.
Oh, Aku finally went and got his mirror.
Finally made it to the south side here. Gonna be heading, it looks directly over to Pod.
It's completable.
Yeah, and Aku's continued to show that they want to clear crystal dungeons. They're gonna check pyramid, maybe catfish along the way, depending on the routing. But with 3 of the crystals already down and Pod being one of them, makes sense that Aku would head right there.
I missed what that was on Bumper Ledge.
I did as well. And Quake Misery Mire, which means we are still waiting for it. Yeah, still missing one.
Quake was apparently found.
Quake on Aku's side looks like it must have been on the pyramid there. Yeah.
Was it on Pyramid Ledge?
I believe it's the only check that was over there. Yeah. Lady Laura, one of our trackers, giving us the yes. Quake on the ledge. So not looking for that anymore.
There's the flippers. What is this seed?
Yeah, this is an odd one. Flippers in Checkerboard Cave behind Flute and the Flute at Hype Cave, and those mitts being the basement of Tower of Hera.
Ducky's getting their Titan's mitts.
Yeah, remembering to do the basement here. Again, just Rai. We'll see how long it takes Rai to head back there. As Calvin heading towards the desert area, we'll see if they decide to go all the way to the back to Landmo and get their King of Samaria.
Yep. They're going inside first, which they do need to get the big key.
Yeah, and once they know that there's an item on Landmo, like I was saying earlier, it is 2 items with that Sahasrara check.
Which was just 50 rubies.
100%, but might incentivize Calvin to go to the back. Just getting an additional check. One of the pendant, clearing the green pendant, giving you that extra item does make it a little more tempting to want to clear.
Yep, Ducky getting their Titan's mitts. Hookshot was
in Zelda Cell.
Oh yeah. Oof.
Yeah. So
nobody's gonna go get that anytime soon.
No, the scene opened up quite a bit in front of our runners here, and only Aku doing the front of escape there.
Yep. Aku's one of the few that has the flute too. Oh no, everyone has the flute. What am I talking about?
Yeah, everyone picked up that flute at Hype Cave now. I believe Aku was the last one to pick up the flute from Hype Cave.
Yeah. Oh, Calvin does have the flute?
Calvin does have the hookshot as well. I thought I saw another as well. Tracker just ate it. Okay, thank you. So yeah, hookshot on Calvin's side as well. So we're still missing it on Ducky and Rai. So you go to the front of escape. And that's just more locations that unfortunately Rai is going to be orphaning. Front of escape as well as basement or Tower of Hera. Both out of the way.
Calvin's got a significant lead now.
Yeah, going to the back here, going to be getting their Cane of Samaria. Just a few items from Go Mode. We need that Quake medallion, so they do need to go to to Pyramid Ledge.
They still need ice rods and
ice rod and a sword. Yeah. But getting close here, 37 minutes in. We'll have to see where those other swords come up as Aku's heading into the back here of Pod. It scares you a little bit more and more every time you open a chest and it's not a sword, knowing that sword's on Lumberjack Ledge.
Yeah. There's another key in the dark room, which is in logic. There's the mirror shield.
Aku already up to the mirror shield, finding all 3. Are you a shield fan, Nira?
Yes.
I am as well.
I can hear Lana grumbling from here.
Yeah, talking. Yeah, I know. Some people argue that it blocks the sprite. However, when I get to Mirror Bridge, when I get to Mirror Shield Bridge, it's definitely nice to have that Mirror Shield for the lasers.
Oh yeah.
And the random hit every now and then that it blocks. I'm sure enough of them add up that I've gained enough value from those shields over the days.
Did Ducky abandon anything in Hookshot Cave?
I don't believe they went and grabbed powder, which was on the ledge.
Yeah, no, they did not grab the powder, but
Yeah.
I can't remember if there was anything.
I don't believe beyond the lamp there was anything important in the cave there.
We don't know what's on Magic Bat.
We do not. No one has checked Magic Bat yet.
Guarantee only one person's got the powder.
Yeah, still waiting on everyone else to head up. Calvin having full cleared both light and dark Death Mountain at the same time.
Oh, we're getting Sick Kid.
Yeah, first Sick Kid pull here from Calvin as well.
He's him and Rai are the only ones with bottles.
Yeah, bottles and swords seem to be deeper in the logic of these seeds. Looks like Aku's going to be heading to the back here. Ape was in Hookshot Cave. I don't believe. What did we see on Bumper Ledge?
There was nothing of importance on Bumper Ledge, but if Aga 1 is required for the sword.
For the second sword, yeah. Yeah, could definitely be.
It's unlikely, but.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where those swords could be. I mean, swords could be in Ganon's tower as well.
They could also be on left side swamp, like we talked about.
Yeah, there's definitely a few out of the way locations. Calvin going to be heading directly into Ice Palace, having everything they need to clear it, as well as already having gone to Desert, being able to do Icebreaker here.
Oh yeah, greatest invention glitch ever created.
I started more seriously running right after Icebreaker became really popular, and as someone who's never had to deal with clearing Ice Palace fully, I am very happy that we have Icebreaker.
Yep.
Saves so much time. You just gotta flip the switch, head back, just in case you find all the items before that big key. But yeah.
The big key in Pod is in its vanilla chest.
Big key chests, yeah, not one you're gonna want to skip today. Not one I usually see skipped in non-key sanity runs. But yeah, it can definitely be a more out of the way location.
No, it was a key for a key, but it's the kind of key for a key you want.
Yes, gonna need that big key to get to the back here. One of the more important big keys in the game. Not all big keys are created equal, though.
And perfect Icebreaker on Calvin's side.
Nice and simple. Getting over to the end, quote-unquote, end here of Ice Palace.
Yep.
Going in backwards.
That glitch basically skips 90% of the dungeon.
Yeah, and skips what's in my book a decently annoying bomb jump to get over. So, big Icebreaker fan here.
Also, 20 rubies on Helmasaur and big key in its French vanilla location in ice.
Yeah, Aku here having 4 of the 7 crystals needed to get to Ganon's tower. Still missing a good chunk of items. Still missing that Cane of Samaria, flippers.
He's only got 2 crystals. Or wait, who are you talking? Aku.
Aku, yeah.
Okay, sorry, I was looking at Calvin.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, Calvin in here finishing up his 3rd crystal. Once they head down to Cold Stare here, having access to both Bombos, Fire Rod, and Half Magic makes Cold Stare a lot nicer of a fight than having to do it with, let's say, Fighter Sword, which can always be an interesting one.
Yep, he's taking a risk that Ice-T does not hold the 3rd item.
Yeah, bit of a 50-50 here from Calvin. Ice-T, the most out-of-the-way location when you do Icebreaker. So definitely understandable to skip it, but hopefully nothing super important sitting back there like our Ice Rod. Or our... I was going to say Quake, but we found Quake.
Yep. And with half magic, this is going to be an insanely easy fight.
Yeah, these pups do not like fireballs from that fire rod, so...
Ooh, Calvin's struggling a little bit.
Able to get 2 of the pups down before running out of magic here. Going to be popping that blue potion to get full magic again. And now should be nice and straightforward.
I did not see what that was on Bombo's tablet.
I unfortunately...
There was angry slashes, so it must have been something.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure what I saw there. It looked like a Rai going to pick up a potion before going to 5 and heading into Eastern Pod area. I've been finishing up Ice Palace while Aku takes a look at these Mire checks over here. Gonna pick up their flippers here in Checkerboard Cave.
Yep. Aku is gonna be able to actually go and complete Swamp too, if he wanted.
Yeah, Swamp Palace fully completable. Also, Ice Palace fully completable on Aku's side. Yeah, we'll have to see where they head here. Already having all 3 of those medallions. I don't believe they've seen the Turtle Rock medallion on Aku's side, but knowing that they have access to all of them, definitely nice to see.
Oh yeah. Aku, of course, being the only one of all 3 medallions.
But it does look like Aku floating away before completing Desert Palace. Going to be missing that Cane of Samaria, at least for the next little bit.
Ooh. Aku, why?
Yeah, Green Pendant Landmo really haunting some of our runners today.
Yeah.
Rai and Calvin going there relatively early. But yeah, definitely one of those checks you're not going to rush to do if you have a lot of checks, let's say, here on the mountain like Aku does.
Ducky right now bringing down Helmasaur. Oh, we're going to get Aku opening up Turtle Rock, I think.
Yeah, looks like they're going to open up the Turtle Rock pendant here to go into the Dark World. I don't believe they've... I'm not sure if they've done Dark Death Mountain. I believe at least...
You can't blame them for at least opening it since we're right here.
Yeah, and it will have to be opened at some point, so doesn't really matter when you do it, but has to be done.
Yeah.
I was commentating a Retrance race last night, Nira, and I kept talking about the medallions, forgetting that the back of Turtle Rock is indeed an entrance itself. So I kept talking about the pendants of Turtle Rock and Misery Mire like it mattered. Luckily, those medallions that the players were missing didn't matter last night. Weren't missing those for Go mode, but always get those confused still.
Aku's going in here to get his lantern, his cape, and his powder. And
yeah,
it looks like Ducky is getting their Quake.
Yeah, they'll be happy that they walked out of pod here and took the little bit of extra time to get Quake here. Unfortunately, missing the spin speed. Getting it the second time.
Oh no, Aku.
Aku not going to pick up that powder. But mirroring over here, we'll see if they're going to check the basement of Tower of Hera here. Oh, they are. Sorry, my apologies. Aku already checking the basement of Tower of Hera. Going to be doing Spike Cave here.
Which was only 20 rubies.
I don't believe we have seen Catfish yet, so I think this will be our first look at it on Ducky's side.
Yeah, we haven't.
Yeah, they went straight from getting Quake on Pyramid, I believe Aku did, straight into Pod.
Also, it's Mr. Scruff Ninja. That's just mean. We want both swords to be on left side swarm.
Yeah, we're reasonable people. Okay, we just want the swords to be there that they need. We just want them. We want them to sweat about Aga as much as possible. You know.
Yep.
Not necessarily require it, but want you to think maybe.
I have seen Seeds be trolly about that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. They could definitely lump those swords together, especially when they're just required for beating Ganon and not required anywhere else. So, yeah, those swords can be at a large number of locations.
They could both be in Mire.
They could both be in Mire. That is correct.
Oh, whoa, where did Rai die? Did he take an intentional death, probably in the dark room?
Yeah, maybe took an intentional death for the quick warp out, having the mirror, but depending on the health already, might have wanted that health refill.
Yeah. And Aku going into Ice Tower, and Ducky getting their ice or their flippers. Oh. So many, our runners all have different divergence of items too. Our top runners have, our right runners have the Cane of Samaria, while our bottom runners have the hook shot. Poverty seeds are not fun.
Looks like Rai doing the Dark Turtles here. Gonna be finishing up Palace of Darkness. Has not gone to get there. Actually, doesn't have their hookshot from Zelda Cell in order to get that lamp at Hookshot Cave.
Yep, and that lantern is required logically.
Yes, to get to the back here of Palace of Darkness.
No. You can get to the back there with the fire rod.
That is true. You are correct with the advanced logic.
Oh. Advanced logic is definitely what this seed definitely has been.
Yes, very much so. It's definitely been on that side. With the lamp being so deep in the logic, being in the dark world, definitely lends itself to that.
Ducky is getting their cane.
Picking it up here. So we see Calvin going to be fighting Helmasaur King here as Aku heads after their icebreaker to the bottom of Ace Palace. Actually, not having their Cane of Samaria did not icebreaker. Went the long way. My apologies.
Definitely feels like it. They went the icebreaker route though, because how fast they did it.
Yeah, very, very, very well done Ice Palace here on Aku's side. Getting there and jumping across. Not needing to bomb jump, find the big key. And actually, sorry, needing to bomb jump if wanting to be cold stare. My apologies. And they did, not having that Cane of Samaria. Ducky picking up that Cane of Samaria and the green pendant off of Landmo in Desert Palace. One step closer to go mode. Still looking for that Ice Rod. Have not seen it on any of our runner sides.
I saw one of our runners doing angry swipes at the Bombos tablet. I wonder if that was Ice Rod.
I'm not 100% sure there. Maybe. Yeah, Ice Rod being behind second sword definitely can be a little frustrating in this scene, knowing that one sword, one of our 4 swords, is on Aghanim. Or sorry, on Lumberjack Ledge behind Aghanim. Yeah, swords could be in quite a few locations. I don't believe we've seen smiths. I don't believe we've seen purple chest. Quite a few locations could be in Misery Mire, could be in Turtle Rock, but yeah, could be, as we're talking about, left side Pendant Swamp here. Still, the dream is alive that they still have to go to left side Swamp. And Aku picking up their 5th crystal here. Just needing that Misery Mire and that Turtle Rock completions before they're good to go.
Yeah, and I see Ducky's going to the Mire.
Yeah, we'll see if Mire holds these swords that all of our runners are still looking for, or that Ice Rod. This full clearable here, having to do fighter sword is not always the most fun, but definitely doable.
Right, just got their hook shot.
Finally going to the front of escape. I guess Ducky still looking for that hook shot as well. Not knowing that it is in the front.
We haven't seen Dark Cross.
No, we have not. Big key in the second chest there of Misery Mire. But yeah, we have not seen Dark Cross yet. None of our runners choosing to do Dark Cross. Looks like Aku's gonna turn in the smiths here, having the mirror and the ability to do hammer pegs. There's the hammer dash. Thank you, Lady Laura. Dark Cross does contain our small key today. So no need to go into Dark Cross. Just to pick up the small key we need to get in. As Aku's going to be turning in the smiths here.
Thank you, lady.
Another bottle with blue goo here in Misery Mire. Bottles have been quite nice to our runners.
Oh no, Aku doesn't have the powder.
Well, Aku going to be skipping out on Magic Bat, hopefully for their sake. Not missing out on too much here, but we'll have to see when Calvin heads over to that area to check. But it looks like Calvin going to be heading into Misery Mire, following in Ducky steps here. We'll see if Ducky finds any additional items here in cutscene chest or on their way to the back. Silver arrows in cutscene chest. Definitely not going to be too upset about that. Always good to see silvers make some of these later boss fights as well as Ganon much easier.
Purple chest only having a piece of heart.
Yeah, unfortunately not what we're looking for from our runners today. But good to get it out of the way, and we'll get another look at Bombo's tablet here on Aku's side. And it looks like just couch cash on Bombo's tablet. We'll see if Rai decides to go all the way to the back here. Going to be going to Vanilla Big Key chest, I believe, for the Vanilla Big Key.
No, it wasn't, because one of our runners opened the big chest.
Oh, thank you. Rai still not having that lamp from Hookshot Cave. Going to be doing this in the dark. And if they choose to go to the back, also going to be doing the back in the dark.
Wait, when did Ducky pick up the silver arrows?
Silvers were in cutscene chest in Misery Mire.
Okay, yeah. I just noticed he was one-shotting the eyes.
Yeah, getting those silvers right on the doorstep of this fight definitely helps quite a bit. Having silver arrows just melting down the eyeballs there. But yeah, nice fight from Ducky, picking up their fourth crystal, 5th dungeon overall.
Yep, Calvin's also going to be getting their silver arrows in just a minute.
Yep, going to be picking them up from cutscene chest drop down here while Aku heads into Swamp Palace. So we'll see if our clairvoyance is true, Nira, and whether or not Left Side Swamp contains some of these swords we need.
Yep, and we'll see if the chat demands for me to be burned at the stake again for being right.
Hey, I mean, if the shoe fits, you know.
It's not my fault I have clairvoyance sometimes.
Honestly, seems like a good skill to have.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see what's going to be in here, that's for sure.
Yeah, we are still missing 2 required items that we have not seen, which is the ice rod and that second sword. I guess technically we have seen the second sword, but we really don't want to get that one.
No, we do not.
Mm-hmm. Let me see.
Ducky, here's a clue. Go to Zelda's cell.
Yeah, Decky's still needing that hook shot. Big key here in the south part of Swamp.
Also, Rai went and killed Armos.
Yeah, went all the way back to Armos. I believe it was just for a piece of heart and that pendant, which unfortunately we know Ped is dead. I believe it was Rai who checked that for us. So was clearing it there for the item that was on Armos Knights.
Yeah.
And Aku not having gone to Desert Palace yet, not having that Kino Samaria to do ice or to do diver down here, gonna have to do Left Side Swamp the slow way.
Well, you can do it with bombs, but it's a lot harder to.
Yeah, I'm not very good at that trick. If I don't have the diver down, I just do it the slow way here and take the time loss. Not too much longer once you go south to north, but yeah, diver down definitely saving quite a bit of time.
We also did see it was the map in the big chest.
All right, so just lending more and more chance that the swords are over here on Left Side Swamp. As we see Rai finally getting to pick up those Titan's mitts.
Yeah, there's going to be some very, very angry slashes once they pick that up.
Yeah, understandably for sure. Having cleared this whole dungeon except for the basement here. Always frustrating when you come back, and very important item in those Titans mints.
Now, it makes sense for Calvin to go do Skull Woods first. Get your crystal dungeons done when you can.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Calvin has explored any of Skull Woods.
Nope.
I don't believe there was anything super important in Skull Woods. Looks like they're going to be picking up Big Bomb here first, which is why they must have prioritized that Misery Mire clear over Skull Woods.
Looks like there was nothing on the left side.
Yeah, nothing left side. Looks like we're going to see the bomb diver down here from Aku.
It is easier to set it up right here, in my opinion.
Yeah, this one without the cane, much easier of a setup. The other one, much more difficult. Oh!
Ice Rod.
Ice Rod in the back of Swamp Palace. So all of our runners going to be needing to go to the back of Swamp Palace for that Ice Rod to kill Trinex. As Aku finds another bottle here in Waterfall Chest.
Pyramid Fairy had a sword.
Second sword. Calvin not going to be needing to complete Aghanim for that second sword. Nice sigh of relief here, I'm sure. And Calvin immediately fluting away. Going to be fluting to 3. Looks like going to be clearing out Skull Woods here, like you mentioned before, Nira.
Yep, the problem is that this seed is throwing our runners all over the place. It's really hard to say who's in the lead anymore.
Yeah, some runners missing a few key items here. We have Aku not quite having that Cane of Samaria yet. We have Ducky not having that Ice Rod or having that hook shot yet. That's in Zelda's cell. And then Calvin and Rai still missing that Ice Rod from Swamp Palace. We'll have to be going in there to clear it. Yeah, runners, it's still up in the air. It's a very very open seat, that's for sure. And yeah, we are definitely in no mode here. But still waiting on some small pickups from our runners to get one of them officially in go mode. As we see a pendant and a crystal grab here at the same time on Aku and Ducky's screen.
Yeah, this is a really crazy seed. Usually boot seeds of any kind don't tend to be that crazy like this.
Yeah, everything kind of opened up nice and early. We've had a large amount of divergence. We see runners mainly just clearing up rooms that other runners have already cleared. But yeah, definitely a lot of divergence in this seed, and all of it seems to coalesce back into you got to go to Skull Woods or to Swamp Palace at the end, and you got to make sure you hit those Sphere 0 locations and Sphere 1 locations like Zelda Cell.
Yeah, the crazy thing is that every pendant dungeon has held progression.
What was in Eastern Palace? Moon Pearl. Yes. Moon Pearl in Eastern, Cane of Samaria in Desert Palace, and then that Ice Rod in Swamp Palace. So, gonna have to go into every dungeon today. Doesn't have to full clear them, but I mean, while you're in the back of, let's say, Swamp Palace, you're probably gonna full clear it.
Yeah, after all, what if Argus has a sword?
Yeah, you never know.
Of course he didn't. He had 20 rubies, but
yeah, much easier to see from our side while these runners are still looking for that sword. And again, like we said, knowing that a sword's on Lumberjack for most of our runners, they're hoping they do not have to climb Agus Tower just to grab that sword, which we know they do not, but Pyramid Fairy also a little bit out of the way. We'll have to see what our runners decide to do here.
Well, Mire is the logical thing to do, because Aku, no, you need to have done Desert first, actually.
Yeah, Aku diving into Swamp Palace here. Or sorry, Misery Mire here, not having done Desert Palace. still missing that Canis Mario that was on Lamolus.
I imagine so many angry slashes in the air when he finds that.
Yeah, they went into Swamp Palace before going into Desert. I assume once they get locked out of Misery Mire here, they will go into Desert, quick mirror over. But yeah, having to double dip the entrance of Misery Mire, you're going to be wasting them a little bit of time.
Yeah. It's really hard to say what Calvin's gonna do. Honestly, I don't know what he'll do, but let's hope that he goes into Swamp.
Yeah, last item that Calvin's missing here is just that Ice Rod that is in the back of Swamp. So if we see them make it to Swamp, that will be Calvin hitting go mode. But a lot of areas still for Calvin to check. Eastern Palace still clearable, and going to be clearing out Skullwoods here.
Also, Calvin. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought.
No worries. We see a couple dungeon finishing. We see Rai finishing off Cold Stare, while Ducky finishes off Mothula. 2 more crystals, 1 for each of our runners here. That puts us Rai up to 5 crystals, missing Misery Mire, Turtle Rock. And that puts Ducky up to 6, just missing Turtle Rock. So missing that Ice Rod from Swamp Palace. And like we keep saying, has been orphaning Zelda's cell for quite a while. Does not have that hookshot yet.
Yep. Also, Calvin is going to Swamp.
Good to see if you're rooting for Calvin in this race. We do know that Swamp has his last piece of progression here, so Calvin will be hitting go mode in a few minutes here.
Yep. Thankfully, Aku is doing left side Mire, getting his second bottle. He is going to go do cutscene room.
Yeah, important today that our runners are doing cutscene room.
Well, seeing how they are missing out on several items, but sadly, Aku is wasting his time because he needs the King of Samaria to go any further.
Yeah, gonna be full clearing Misery Mire here, aside from going to the back, unable to without that cane. So yeah, hopefully they go back quick. I assume they're gonna be doing Desert after this, but again, you never know. This late into a seed, missing just 1 item, there are a lot of checks left that I can make as well. And Rai finally picking up their flippers here. Looks like I assume they'll probably head back into Misery Mire here. Full clearable Crystal Dungeon.
Here's hoping Aku is going into Desert. And he is.
Alright, just need to make sure he goes to the back and kills Lamolus there, which is where our item is sitting. But with how many locations Aku has left alongside how many items they're missing, I'd be surprised if they skipped out on something like a 2-item Lamolus.
True, and if he gets the King of Samaria, which if he does kill Landmole, of course we know he does, but if he does go kill Landmole, he could go to GT.
Yeah, he will be in Sword Go mode after Turtle Rock. So, we'll be in Sword Go mode after picking up that Cane of Samaria. But if no swords found in Turtle Rock, could go right into GT, hoping to find a sword. We know where 2 of them are. One is on Lumberjack Ledge, so that's behind Aghanim. Hopefully not having to do that. And one is in Pyramid Ferry that we saw picked up on Calvin's side.
Yep, hopefully he does decide to get the one off of Pyramid Ferry at least, because that will at least make it easier, because you don't want to have to do Master Sword Ganon if you can help it.
Yeah, getting up the Tempered with those silver arrows, definitely much nicer. Makes the fight a lot quicker, not having to do those Master Swords spins constantly. But yeah, we'll have to see here. Been a sword light seed for sure, which I guess is what happens when one of the swords is already taken out of the pool and put on Lumberjack.
Yep, and for those who don't know, Ganon cannot be hurt by Master Sword strikes, despite it being the bane of evil.
Yeah, Master Sword spins are required, or Temper Sword swipes.
Yep. And of course, then we have the ever joyous mode known as Swordless, where Ganon can only be hurt by the hammer.
Yeah, a little bit of a different mode. I tried one Swordless run a few weeks ago, and let's just say Ganon got the best of me in that one. Doesn't happen often, but took a while to take him down with the hammer there. But yeah, definitely can be tough to take down the pig with just Master Sword still having to hit all those spins.
We are wait, Lady Laura Linda, you're getting ahead of yourself. We still have to clear TR.
Yeah, one more clear here from Calvin, but Calvin is in go mode here after picking up that ice rod in the back of Swamp Palace. Not even finishing, understandably. But yeah, going to be heading into Turtle Rock here, and we'll see what goodies await inside Turtle Rock. I expect Calvin to not full clear Turtle Rock, but go mode it. But we'll see if they check something like Laser Bridge for 4 quick chests.
Yeah, also no problem, Lady Laura Linda. I was worried I'd fallen asleep and missed TR somehow.
Luckily enough, we still have at least a dungeon to wait on Calvin's side. And one more, and a Trinex fight as well.
This is kind of, at this point, Calvin's race to lose.
Yeah, it all comes down to execution here. If they don't find another sword, we'll have to test their metal on Master Sword Ganon. But again, for any of these runners, I assume Master Sword Ganon, done once, done 100 times, you know?
I'd rather do Master Sword Ganon than Master Sword Silver's Ganon.
Just Master Sword by itself?
I can't get the positioning right with Master Sword Silver's.
Wow, early big key as well here in Turtle Rock. So already having access to that big key, Calvin most likely heading straight to the back here.
Oh yeah, guarantee you do need right keys, so it's always better to check this one right here.
Yeah, this one makes a lot of sense. Do get to steal a key, not having to go to...
Actually, I think you are required to... I think a key has to be in one of the first 3 chests.
One of the first 3, yeah. To be able to move on here.
Yeah, because in the top left, there is that one door.
Yep. So, needing access to it right here to be able to get to this room to pick up the second key that's sitting behind this enemy.
The key logic in the beginning of this dungeon makes no sense to me.
Yeah, the key logic, especially in some of these more complexly designed dungeons, are very interesting. It's really funny looking back at the way these dungeons were created, because they're very crazy and interestingly designed for casual play, but can be a little frustrating sometimes when you're playing in a randomizer and need to go to an out-of-the-way check.
Yep. Also, Aku did spooky action, so very nicely done.
And with those silver arrows, nice quick kill there. Oh, there we go. Picking up that small key and picking up their 6th crystal here out of Misery Mire. Just a sword away from go mode. I trust Aku will probably head straight to the mountain and into Turtle Rock.
Sorry. Surger, the lamp was in Hookshot Cave, flippers were in Checkerboard, and mitts were in Hera Basement.
Yeah. Been kind of an all over the place seed here for the item location. But looks like Aku heading straight up the mountain and into Turtle Rock. So, hoping that there is a key here or in Ganon's tower We know there's only one left, knowing one of those keys is at Pyramid Ferry. So fingers crossed for Aku that they don't have to double dip Ganon's tower, which is never something you want to do.
Yeah, really. Where was the regular glove?
First glove was in Mushroom Spot.
Okay.
Yeah, one glove in Mushroom Spot and one in Hera Basement. And Ducky, after going to the back of Swamp Palace here, will most likely continue to finish the boss, not having that hook shot from Zelda's Cell yet. Missing that location currently. Hopefully, they don't orphan it for too much longer. I'd be surprised if they orphan it beyond checking. Oh, and they go left side and leave. Going to be missing out on that ice rod as well. So Ducky needing to go to the back of escape and to ice rod. And it looks like Ducky going to the back of escape here. Or front of escape, my apologies.
Yeah, Rai is not like. Oof.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna dip Turtle Rock, or at least clear Death Mountain here in the dark, before heading into Swamp Palace to get their ice rod. We'll get their lamp here. They're sitting in Hookshot Cave, but yeah, gonna be missing that ice rod for at least a little bit longer on Rai's side.
No, ice rod was in the back of swamp, right in the diver down room.
Yes, good point from Lady Laura. Ducky cannot get that ice rod without picking up their hook shot that they're going to be picking up here in Zelda's Cell. So we'll see if they go straight back to Swamp Palace or if they go and clear some other locations first after picking up that hook shot. And Calvin with Cane of Myrna, just going to be walking through these lasers. And finding not much here on Laser Bridge, so still missing that last and final sword location. As Calvin heads back to Trinex here.
Wait, there was another sword found?
Nope, we're still missing that fourth sword location.
Oh, okay. I heard sword location, and sorry.
Fair enough, you're good. And Ducky picking up that hook shot, pulling on the chest in frustration. But yeah, Rai unfortunately going to be dipping in to Turtle Rock here. And by dipping in, I mean most likely full clearing beyond Trinex. So going to be a little bit of a time sink here from Rai, and they will have to do the climb again. So we see Ducky getting dead rocked. Always fun.
Calvin having a little bit of trouble with Trinex.
Yeah, not always the easiest fight, especially on Master Sword. A lot of swipes required. And looks like they take down two of the heads here, just the big one left on Calvin's side.
He's got to be careful. He can't take another hit.
Yeah, only on half a heart here, really taking the risk. And it's easier to get hit here than you think when you're off the nice script of Trinex. And finishing it off with the hammer, Calvin. Keeping that blue pot for when they have to go into Ganon's tower here, but that looks like it will be Calvin's 7th crystal here, picking up at a minute 22:45.
Oh yeah, get your guesses in from 1 to 22, everyone.
Yeah, people already getting their guesses in quick here, which is good to see. Because we just have a quick trip over to Ganon's tower. But like Nira said here, everyone, there are 22 checks in the basement of Ganon's tower for the big key. We like to play a little game here. So get your guesses in about what location, what check that key will be in. We're about to see it on Calvin's side here in just a moment. And guesses will close once Calvin enters Ganon's Tower.
Mine, of course, is 22 because I don't think the seed has been trolly enough.
And I'm a 15 fan. I always go for Rando Room. Just feels right, you know? We see, I see some 1s, 2s, and 3s. Some people being quite nice to our runners. But there's also a 22 in here.
Yeah, that would be me.
That will be you, Nira. So, Nira hoping we have to do Tower Room at the end, as Calvin goes right side first here of GT.
Oh, and the red meringue was inside of the big chest, or big key chest in Turtle Rock.
Yeah, right. Not too happy about that. Still looking for that ice rod. Unfortunately, we know they will not find that here in Turtle Rock. As we see Calvin go right through Hope Room, 1-2, nothing too much there. And going to be going to the right side here of Gavin's Tower. Always interesting to see the different routings from different runners here. I'm a Dark Magician fan myself. What about you, Nira?
I'm going with whatever I feel like every run.
I like that. Keep it fresh, you know?
Generally, though, I tend to do full left side.
Full left side, as we see check number 3, 4, and 5. Number 5 being our chest today. Unfortunately, no one guessing 5, no one getting their fake additional internet points.
Actually, we go with whoever's closest, and that would be Kirby Fan.
Kirby Fan sitting at...
Oh, Kirby Fan, CC Runner. And I think that's all of our 3s.
There's a 3, but there's also Slayer coming in at 6. As Ruler, I'm sorry, you're coming in a little bit late here at 6. But Slayer coming in, choosing 6, being the closest today. Congratulations. You were the closest today on that guessing game, as we see Calvin climbing the tower here.
We count the number. We count it as those who don't go over the number.
Fair enough. Fair enough here.
Cool.
We're doing Price is Right rules here with me and Nira today. So yeah, like we said, shout out to everyone who guessed. Check number 5 here today. As we see a few people cleaning up Turtle Rock here. Both Ducky and Rai not having gone and cleared the back of Swamp Palace to get that ice rod. So going to be missing that once they get to the back of Turtle Rock here. And as well, Aku is still missing that second sword. So we will see Calvin really be the one here that found the nice routing through this.
Yeah, where was that other sword?
It was in Pyramid Fairy.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, it'd be faster to just do Pyramid Fairy than it would be to do Aga 1 at the end here.
Yeah, unfortunately, our runners do not know that sword is there beyond Calvin. No one else has checked it yet. With Rai seeing some cool strats there on the laser bridge, blocking out the lasers there. Going to be taking the safety door here as well. And actually going to be leaving and fluting away, it looks like. Which makes sense. No ice rod here in the back of Turtle Rock.
Ooh, Calvin not getting the silver arrows off in time.
Yeah, unfortunately missing those silver arrow shots. Gonna have to be doing a 2 or 3 cycle second mold arm here. And getting it in 3. As they continue to head up Ganon's Tower here, we see Aku heading in, knowing that all right is the right play. We'll see where Aku decides to head first.
At least with items we need to complete tonight, at least the items weren't in their vanilla locations. Aku just found a sword.
Aku here, being officially in go mode now, finding that sword. Going to be doing the Dark Magician strat, which will pay out very nicely for them, picking up that sword and then heading directly to the right to pick up their big key to Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, finding that sword in the, I don't know what that is called in GT.
Yeah, final room they could have, final sword in the pool. So we had one sword in Tower of Hera. We had one on on Lumberjack Ledge. We had one in Pyramid Ferry and one there on the left side of Ganon's Tower. Stalfos room. Thank you, more guy.
Yep, thank you.
And Calvin making quick work here of the second Troll Dorm. Got a hook shot across. And just bombs in the last chest as they head up to face Aga 2 and the pig. Aku heading up Ganon's Tower now after finding that big key.
Yeah, this is a really crazy. Wow, have we really not checked Hobo?
I believe that was not the first Hobo check I've seen, but Rai's side not having checked Hobo yet. I don't believe Rai did the full fake flipper. They went straight into Pyramid, or straight into the Fairy Cave. Yeah, definitely some unfriendly swords tonight. Fighter sword for most of the game, aside from Calvin, who picked it up after clearing Desert Palace and Misery Mire.
Hey, we're getting Magic Bat.
Magic back here from Ducky.
We, of course, know it won't be a sword. It's 3 bombs.
Yeah, just bombs here today. Luckily, at least, it didn't lead them on another fetch quest. We know already that mushroom is in Ganon's Tower, but not picking up the shovel today. Save him a little bit of time while Rai is going to head back into Swamp Palace here. Going to be picking up their Ice Rod in just a little bit, as Ducky looks like they're going to complete Eastern Palace first. I also don't believe Ducky has turned in their green pendant from Desert Palace yet, so having 2 items over here can definitely make sense.
Yep, but we also do know that nothing is in the green pendant. It was 50 rubies. Yeah,
nothing in green pendant, and Ducky getting caught by the bird there and saying, nope, we're going to go to Swamp instead. Good choice here from Ducky. Going to save them quite a bit of time here.
Yep, Rai is back in there too.
As we see Calvin on the first phase of Ganon here with these Master Sword spins, and the second phase just began. Oh, missing that sword spin. This fight a lot scarier when you don't have Tempered Sword. Those bats deal quite a bit of damage, and Calvin taking a death here. With the Fairy Revive, we'll get a few hearts back, but does have to be careful.
Yeah, definitely got to be careful here.
Nothing worse than taking a death on the Ganon fight, having to restart it all over again, especially after having used that fairy no longer of use.
Yep, and Ducky is going to be getting their Master Sword now.
Yeah, and depending on how Ducky and Rai, who also has a Master Sword, will clear Ganon's Tower, we'll see if they get up here with Tempered Sword or not for the Ganon fight. Calvin using their blue potion here in the second phase of Ganon. Fortunately, getting hit by the fire again. Yeah, always scary. All this deals quite a bit of damage.
How many sword slashes do we have to do on Ganon with the Master Sword?
Without silvers, the last phase is 18. This here, quite a few. I'm not exactly sure the exact number. 24 spins.
Okay, so 12 for each phase.
Yeah, makes sense. And again, and jumping around here on Calvin's side. As we see Ducky heading back north. Now, Ducky did not pick up that ice rod in Swamp Palace. Gonna be checking Spike Cave here, which we know unfortunately is nothing. Let's hope Rai continues in Swamp Palace here after checking left side. But yeah, Ducky gonna be missing that ice rod for a little bit longer still, as they save and quit out of Spike Cave.
Calvin's got to be careful here.
Yeah, only a little bit of magic left and a little bit of health left. Ganon fight definitely scarier than people sometimes give it credit for. But there's that fourth silver arrow. Get your GGs in chat for Calvin 919.
Yep, with an official race time of 1:35:16.
Everyone, get your GGs in chat for Calvin first here on the restream, as well as first in the race overall. GGs to Calvin.
Yeah, GG's Calvin, and also Ducky, get out of Eastern.
Yeah, Ducky continuing to clear places that unfortunately do not have that ice rod for him.
No, they don't. Oof.
Hopefully not too much longer. I'm trying to think what Ducky has left after this. I don't believe it's much. Having already cleared a chunk of Turtle Rock after Eastern Palace, I believe Swamp being one of their last options. Oh, we see Aku here on the Ganon fight. Hopefully we're able to get Calvin in for a little interview when they're ready. See Rai climbing back up the mountain here. Going to be heading back into Turtle Rock and just needs to get to the back and kill Trinex. And we have Calvin joining us in the race chat here. GG's, Calvin.
Hey, GG's. Thank you.
Interesting seed here with items kind of all over the place. You had the early hookshot in Zelda Cell. We had myths sitting in the basement of Hera, and swords nowhere to be found for most of the seed.
Did any of the other runners find any of the other two swords?
Yeah, there was one of the swords was on Lumberjack Ledge. Okay. And the last sword is in Stalfos' room in Ganon's Tower. So just to the left. Yeah, I was wondering if you were gonna go full right or you were gonna do Dark Magician left to right. And you were the first into GT, so we were the first one to see you. But yeah, I was just in Stalfos' room, second check on the left.
No.
Also,
yeah.
Aku just finished with an official time of 1:37:46. For second place in the restream and third place in the race overall.
Everyone, get your GGs in chat for Aku. What a great race.
Well, lucky I found that Pyramid Fairy one, I guess.
Yeah, we were wondering where those swords were for quite a while. We knew the one was on Lumberjack, and we were hoping it wasn't a logical Lumberjack second seed or a second sword. But yeah, luckily finding that one in Pyramid Fairy. I believe you did that before heading into finishing Turtle Rock. Fortunately, a few of the runners here are double dipping Turtle Rock, looking for that ice rod.
Oh no!
Also, welcome Aku.
Aku, GG's. Yeah, Ducky on our restream here has not gone back into Swamp Palace to get their ice rod. Looks like that's what they're going to be doing here. While Rai unfortunately did have to double dip TR, full cleared it before seeing before going back to Swamp Palace and seeing that ice rod there.
Hey everyone.
Hey, how's it going, Aku?
Going good.
Interesting seed today.
It was.
Any thoughts on those sword locations?
What swords?
Yeah,
For me anyway.
Yeah, honestly, for all of our runners, the 4 swords were at. We had the first one in Tower of Hera. There's one on Lumberjack Ledge.
I saw that one.
Yeah, one in Pyramid Ferry, and then one on in Stalfo's Room GT.
Oh, okay.
So not the nicest sword layout today. It seemed like everything else was nice, aside from that sword layout, and of course that ice rod sitting in the back of Pendant Swamp Palace.
Yeah, there's something in every pendant dungeon for us to see too.
Yeah,
Oops,
Nira,
almost all dungeons.
Oops, almost all dungeons for sure here. Yeah, especially with having that Kate of Samaria on Lambolus. So having to go all the way to the back of Pendant Desert Palace just to get that Kate of Samaria. Yeah, definitely some interesting locations today. It seemed nice off the bat. We saw some early hook shots with the boots, and we saw Calvin, you getting that those Titans mitts quite early. But yeah, some awkward locations for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I lucked out.
You go ahead.
Yeah, I think I lucked into a lot of those things too.
Yeah, your routing really paid off today. You just kind of seemed to find the items when you needed them, and even little things like going and picking up that extra sword at Pyramid Ferry before going and finishing off the dungeons saved that extra little bit of time that some of the outer runners needed. But yeah, seemed like the routing gods were in your favor today.
I did not get the Pyramid Fairy sword. Someone else must have.
Sorry, Calvin. My apologies. Calvin
Yeah.
got it. Actually, my apologies. Yeah, you picked up yours in Stalfo's room. My apologies at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, having not having to double dip Turtle Rock was also quite a nice situation from you. I believe you were the first to go up Death Mountain and Dark Death Mountain, and we did have Rai, one of our runners, unfortunately orphan those Titans mitts in the basement of Tower of Hera.
Oh no.
Yeah, never fun. Never a fun situation when you leave and have to come back to pick those up. But didn't leave it too long. Finishing after grabbing their sword here, going to be heading right side of GT. Looks like we're going to have Nira stepping out. So have a great night, Nira. Thanks for the comm. Duo, always a fun time. As Rai heads to the right here. But yeah, honestly, very interesting seed having decently early mirror and flute, as well as relatively easy accessible almost everything locations beyond that ice rod and those swords. Left a lot of divergence between the runners here. Everyone kind of went their own way to get to the end, but definitely interesting to see. Any more races in the books tonight for either of you, Aku, Calvin?
Let's see what ladder has.
Very fair.
I am not
Yeah.
staying up until 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
No,
yesterday I stayed up quite late doing a key sanity run till about 5 a.m. So I'm done after this today.
Well, for me, I'm gonna probably see if my my pilot wants to do some spoiler seeds. I want to give a shout out to High Roller for putting up with me and helping me learn some couple new tricks to help me get better. This one is dedicated to him.
Love that. Yeah, no, always good to be continuing to learn. You know, there's some amazing runners in this community, so always good when you're able to pull as much knowledge as you can from them.
Like, I'll give an example. Like pilot, like spoiler pilot. Like sometimes there is a sword or two that's like too far out of the way, so he'll make me do like Master Sword Trinex, which I usually have a hard time with. But I had a, we've been practicing Trinex, Vitreous, all kinds of fights with Master Sword on like 6 hearts, and it helped out a lot, regardless if I had to use both of my safeties for Ganon on Master Sword.
Using the safeties is what the safeties are there for, if as long as you don't die, that's a win in all of our books.
Mm-hmm.
Learning those low heart fights definitely a big level up moment, and not the easiest to do. You see the runners, especially sometimes on the restreams, doing some crazy low heart fights that are just beyond my ability. That's for sure.
Well, like, I'll give you an example. It was really, really embarrassing. I think it was like maybe a year or so ago. I did Trinex on stream with Master Sword, and I think the count that what it was like 27 attempts. So getting it done in one try is definitely a lot better. I was very stubborn to get that fight done.
And it was quite a clean fight from you there. A little bit of a slip up with the ice Trinex, but all in all, very, very, very clean. Having half magic definitely helps in that Trinex fight. But yeah, Master Sword, not ideal for the Trinex fight. Let's just say that.
No. But
we see Rai finishing the climb here, or continuing the climb of Ganon's Tower here. And Deki, unfortunately, taking a death on Trinex in that last phase. Did not take the safety door, so going to have to re-clear and go to the end of Turtle Rock. Never something you want to have to do. You see Rai hitting up Moldorm 2 fight here with this Tempered Sword. Just 2 spins and Moldorm goes down. While we're waiting for Rai to finish up GT and Ducky to finish up Turtle Rock, just want to give another quick shout out to both of our trackers today. Shout out to Jinxie Girl and Lady Laura, both for clicking the buttons today, making sure we can get 4 runners on Restream. Cannot do it without the trackers, so always a big shout out to them, making sure that not only do Nier and I know where everything is, but making sure you guys do as well. I was talking about this earlier with Nira, but this is the 3rd race I've commentated this week, and this is the first race without a blind ped pull. So I was really hoping we'd see Pedestal holding something valuable today. Again, purely coming from a spectator standpoint and not a runner standpoint. But nothing too out of the way like that today.
It had a pretty decent chance to be something.
Yeah, there was quite a few options. We were thinking, Nir and I were thinking maybe Quake or Ice Rod. Still had quite a few chances to be there. And after you guys had cleared everything but Misery Mire, Turtle Rock, and Swamp Palace, we were thinking maybe, you never know where this Ice Rod lies. But yeah, just sitting there in the back of Pendant Swamp Palace. Because, of course, it had to be in Pendant Swamp Palace. Had to be something there.
Yeah, if I didn't get go mode at desert, I was gonna blind pull ped.
I love that. I love that. You gotta if you have the option to blind pull ped, you have to. But yeah, finding that Kana Samaria there, it's like, okay, well, all right. We'll go beat the game, I guess. We see Rai with the last jump from Ganon, having found the silvers. Oh, getting hit by the bat there. And we see Ducky take down Trinex, picking up their 7th crystal, going to be heading into Ganon's tower here. We see Rai finishing up this Ganon fight. Unfortunately, not having hit the torch splits, going to have to put a few arrows into Ganon here. And the 4th one goes down for Rai. Everyone, get your GGs in chat for Rai. Hopefully we'll be able to get Rai in here to talk a little bit more about the seed. As Rai crosses with an official racetime.gg time of 1:49:45. Yeah, quite a decently quick seed today. Opening with boots, always nice and convenient, but especially after seeing that sword on Lumberjack, really, really worried me a little bit. But Ducky here going to be heading into Ganon's tower. We'll see whether they head left to grab their temper sword or go straight right to pick up that big key. And looks like Ducky going to be heading to the left here. Hope Room first. Does have that mirror out. And looks like they're going to be going right to left. So may miss that big key for quite a little bit here. Right, Ducky heading to the left here. Going to be picking up their tempered sword up here in Stalfo's room. And most likely after clearing Hope Room first, clearing out these Stalfos, going to continue here on the left-hand side. And we have Rai joining us. Rai, GG's.
GG, guys.
GG.
You're our first runner on the restream to complete after finding more than just Mastered Sword. We had Calvin and Aku not finding a 3rd sword, having to do Master Sword Ganon.
Ah, hell yeah. Well, everyone had silvers at least, I guess.
Yeah, everyone did have the silvers. Everyone went to cutscene chest in Misery Mire first, finding those silvers at least, which is nice.
Yeah, I had a friend in chat who came in and said, "Oh, I hate this dungeon," and I wrote, "Going to cutscene was a mistake. There's not going to be anything here." While I was waiting for the cutscene to finish, and then I opened it like, "Yeah, no, it was worth it."
We love an instant karma moment, you know. An instant, actually, really glad I waited for this cutscene. Saves a ton of time. Even on the boss of Misery Mire plus Ganon. Yeah, definitely saves a ton of time.
Oh yeah, it was great.
Now, I have to ask you, Rai, like I did the rest of the runners, how'd you feel about that sword distribution today?
Honestly, it wasn't... Well, it was bad, obviously, but... I like going fighter sword actually, because for some people it does hold them back a lot, you know, with every boss except Thief. But I felt I can make something work, and you know, I decided to go for Modula if there was something behind her. It would have been great.
Yeah, trying to leverage that fighter sword advantage. I know if I was running this race, Fighter Sword Mothula is definitely quite a scary proposition for me. So yeah, I can see what you're saying in that sense where if you feel comfortable with those fights at Fighter Sword, it definitely makes more sense to want those fights to be at Fighter Sword.
Exactly.
But-
Unfortunately, nothing was locked behind Mothula, if I'm not mistaken. So I
No.
couldn't take like an early advantage there.
Yeah, nothing too much locked. I believe Skullwoods and Thieves Town, which were early clears, just held not much of anything for us. We did have quite a hype cave today, finally for the first time in a while. But yeah, items kind of in some interesting locations today.
Yeah, I was planning to go pod after, I was thinking like I'll find nothing in Hype Cave, but I'll get it out, then I'll go pod, and I'll get something there. And it was just the complete opposite.
Just absolute gold, picking up the mirror and the flute there. Yeah, as we see Ducky going to the right side here, going to be picking up their sword very, very soon.
Yo, he's got the cape out. Is he gonna do?
Doing
it.
Looks like we're seeing tile room first. Yeah, gonna waste a little bit of time here on the tile room.
The chat loves to see it, right?
Hey, we all love a good tile room, and at least Ducky using the strat here, not gonna waste any magic grabbing onto that wall with the cape. So just gonna have to wait out here a little bit. Unfortunately, not going to be paid off with much. I don't know what else could really be here in tile room. We already know the location of all 4 swords. But
The shovel. Shovel. Yes.
Oh no!
Oh wow.
Well, if this was something like Retrins, that would be a really, really gross find there. But luckily, Ducky, knowing they are in go mode, will not be leaving to check that shovel. Also, could have been gross going right side first, checking tile room there, seeing the shovel and thinking, "Oh no, where is my final sword?" But not today, unfortunately. Luckily, none of you having to do Aga just for that sword on Lumberjack. As Ducky finds the big key heading up.
There we go. I did not check Lumberjack, so I had no clue.
Yeah, honestly, out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? In this situation. Luckily for you, you didn't even have to worry about it. I feel like knowing where it is would have been a lot more stressful, In one of those situations where you're just like, where is that final sword? As you're doing Fighter Sword Trinex. And you're like, yes, I really, really hope I can find one of those swords again in Stour. But yeah, finding one of those swords in Pyramid very definitely helping there, Calvin. Vortex pointing out here, it actually had to be the shovel. Yes. They're talking about where the bug net could have been. Finding out that it either has to be at the shovel spot or at Mushroom Turn-In. Both of which were in here in Ganon's Tower. So missing the most important item. Unfortunate here for our runners. But like Vortex is saying, we will be able to see where that bug net is if we watch the credits here. On Ducky's side. Ducky finishing up the climb here. Just a few rooms left here before getting to the top of Ganon's Tower. Always fun in the ice rooms with some of these enemies. Never know which direction they're gonna go, but runner like Ducky knows what's going on here. Pretty good on the Ganon's climb as they head into Landmolus 2. And gets 2 hits on one and 1 hit on each of the others. And finish it off with a Tempered Sword spin there, continuing their climb. Gonna have a little bit of easier of a time here on Ducky's side with that tempered sword. Not gonna have to worry about the Master Sword slashes. Or Master Sword spins, my apologies. Which can definitely be on the tougher side in the Ganon fight. Making sure you hit all those spins, especially only on blue mail here. Actually, Ducky being on red mail could have a little bit easier of a time. Yeah, we see some talking in chat. And it looks like at least one of our runners did kill Aga for Master Sword, which is definitely an unfortunate situation. Knowing now in hindsight where they are, definitely would have been nicer to go to left side swamp, but always tough to tell, especially when you get to the end there, clear Turtle Rock, still not having that Master Sword. As we see Ducky heading into Aga 2 here. Unfortunately, missing the first cycle. Getting a hit there on Aga. And another hit there on Aga. Yeah, Ducky unfortunately having some unfortunate locations on Ice Rod, as well as missing that hook shot for quite a while. Definitely an unfortunate situation. But finishing up the Aga 2 fight here, going to be dropping into Ganon with Temper Sword and Silver Arrows. I believe they also still have that fairy left in their bottle. So hopefully a straightforward fight here from Ducky. As we see Ducky dropping in here. Yeah, shovel in tile room. Definitely an unfortunate situation. Luckily, no one having to leave GT for anything. Not having one of those swords sitting in the dig spot. Very, very nice here. And Ducky getting in with those tempered sword slashes here. We continue the Ganon fight, heading on the next phase here. Hopefully not too many dashes from Ganon. And Ducky getting the torch glitch here. With the slash. Getting one silver arrow into Ganon. 2 and 3. Missing the fire rod there. Ganon on the left. And the final silver arrow into the pig on Ducky's screen. Everybody, get your GGs in chat for Ducky here. Ducky coming in. We are unable to see the timer, unfortunately, but coming in with an official race.gg time of 2:03:48. Everyone, get your GGs in chat for Ducky. see if we can get Ducky in here as well for a quick little overview of the end of that seed for them. But all 4 of our runners putting on a great show. Let's get another GG in chat for all of our runners today. We have Ducky, Rai, Aku, and Calvin. Thank you guys for being on the restream.
Thank you all for comms and tracking.
Of course, nothing else I'd rather be doing on a Friday night. Really, it's a good race and definitely an interesting one with some of these locations. And it looks like Calvin, you actually, we had Calvin finish at 1:35.16, which is the first place time here on the racetime.gg time. GG's on the first place there, Calvin. Aku finishing in 3rd here. Very nice finish as well. Rai finishing in 11th, 1:49.45. Honestly, great time from all of you guys today.
Yeah, GG. Thank you, and thanks for having us.
Of course, always a fun time. We'll see if Ducky wants to join us, but I know our runners, if you guys have to head out, more than welcome to. But yeah, GG's, and thanks for the entertainment on our side for sure. We'll see if Ducky wants to join us in just a moment. Looks like they are just in the setup room. They should be here in just one sec. And welcome to our cast, Ducky, GG's.
Thank you. GG's, everybody.
GG, Ducky.
GG, Ducky.
GG Ducky.
Now that was a bit of an interesting race for you there, Ducky.
I kept trying to find. I was just looking for the ice rod, and I was hoping it was in all these opportune places, and it just wasn't. So I had to keep backtracking, and yeah, it didn't go well for me at the end.
Yeah, the back of swamp ice rod, not the nicest location for the order in which you cleared that, but yeah, we had ice rod in odd location, and also that second sword and third sword in quite odd locations as well today.
And I was thinking, like, I really don't want to go fight Aga for a second sword, but I will if I have to.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up not being the case. It just ended up not going my way, and just it was the ice rod was an awful location. It was going so well for so long, and then that ice rod just killed me.
Well, yeah, required items in all 3 of our pending dungeons today. We had Moon Pearl and Eastern Palace. We had obviously the Cane of Samaria on Landmo, and then that ice rod in the back of Swamp Palace. As someone mentioned before, this is almost all dungeons.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Well, GG's Ducky for sure. That was definitely a crazy race from all 4 of our runners. Yeah, anything else you guys want to talk about for the seed?
No, GG's everybody. I think it was fun, and I hope to catch you guys at the next one.
All right. Well, one last time, guys, let's get our GG's in chat for all of our runners, all of our 4 restream runners, as well as all of the runners in the race tonight, putting on some entertainment for us. I also want to give a quick shout out to my commentary partner, Nira Lightshine, as well as our trackers today of Jinxie Girl and Lady Laura, really clicking the buttons, making sure that we could have 4 on restream. Couldn't have done it without them. So shout out to everyone at Speed Gaming, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.